Start off by saying I do these videos for me, solely for me. But if anybody happens to stumble upon it and watches it and learns something from it, I am happy for you. But I don't like to share my videos because I feel like I'm still learning and I don't want to, uh, you know, have someone like a beginner watch my videos and then they get the wrong information because I'm still learning and I'm not all the way correct. But um, here is what happened. Okay, so um, February 9th, today is the 12th of March, but February 9th, I took a major loss of 32K out of stubbornness. Yes, the stock went my way eventually, but I took such a major loss. I was completely just out of the game at this point. My account went under the PDT. Um, I was out for a week, and then um, I funded my account with Nike shares, and I eventually became over the PDT rule again. And then I took a $646 gain, um, which pushed me over the PDT. Then I gave it all back on ticker symbol Watt for $572 loss, and another stock MTC, another $83 loss on that. Then um, not only that, but Nike took a major hit too. My average was like 346. I mean $136, and Nike was over 145. Came crashing down, went down to 130. So I lost $2,000 or so. I was in the negatives, so I was like under 24,000, 23,000, and there was no way for me to come up with that kind of money to refund my account. So from the time I had COVID to the time my account went under PDT and Nike coming down by a large amount, um, and I remember I invested in Nike slowly because long story, but um, but I put money in Nike because I want my money to sit in Nike and not. I don't want to lose, you know, half of 25K, um, half of whatever. I don't want to lose a lot, so I put into a safer investment to keep myself from losing it. So from the time I had COVID to Nike crashing or coming down a lot, I spent a week or two intensely studying. Um, I was just really fed up with myself, fed up with trading. I already wanted to give up, but I summoned the strength to get back into this and study. So throughout the time I was under the PDT, I studied intensely. Felt like I got a really big jump under when it came to studying, but I felt a little overwhelmed because I was becoming unfocused. I was studying so much I became overwhelmed because I was studying, but my environment was so poisonous. I had to like pull back from everything, studying, trading, all of that. And then after, now we're going into March. Um, Now we're going into March. Uh, I took a week off from work to intensely study. I even made some notes here. It says, money is tight right now while struggling to feed myself and keep my sanity. Money was really, really tight. I couldn't even feed myself. And then, like that, I could feed myself, but not much, barely. And then I was under a lot of stress and mental pressure. I put here, wishing I was disciplined with trading before PDT stressing me. So I was wishing I was disciplined before I fell under the PDT, so that I would never fall under the PDT. And I wrote down here on this calendar, I write all my trades like Huddy told me to when I met him. But he said on this calendar, it also says what's one thing you'd like to accomplish this month. And I put down study intensely for the first week, which I did, but I kind of like slowed down a little bit. Get back in the game, PDT in parentheses, roadie, which I fucked up, continual exercising, which I haven't exercised at all in the past 2 3 weeks. Do the activities that I need. I find it joyful. So since I've been stressed over the PDT and everything else, I've been like doing what makes me happy. So I would go to improv or go watch a professional baseball game or go to the park and play basketball. Um, just anything that I found to be healing. Um, I went and did it. Uh, but yeah. So going into today, I mean, not today, but last week and this week, from the beginning of March, first to um, the 11th. Today's the 12th, but the 11th. I was still under the PDT rule, but I decided to day trade. I mean, not day trade, paper trade. I'm not going to go over too much paper trading stuff, but the only reason why I'm going to go over this stock is because I was looking to trade it and it didn't. It didn't go my way, and I missed so much opportunity. But I was over the PDT rule at this time, um, and I was watching this stock from yesterday, and I'll show you what happened yesterday. But yesterday it went from 47 to 85, and I shorted it, and this is all paper trading, um, which really doesn't matter, but I shorted it and I made like 4K on it, and I didn't size in big. I use roughly what I would use every time I trade, or not every time, but normally what I trade, and I put 300 shares, which was 21K, a bit bigger in size, but based off the price action, um, um, I probably wouldn't use that size, but I just clicked it and really wasn't thinking about it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let it hit my wrist. Really, I'm going to cover under my risk, but 300K, 300 shares is what I want to go with. And it came crashing down somewhere here, made 17K, then 1700, then shorted again, made 38 hundred. Then I was up 4,500 at one point, and then gave it all. I gave a large amount of it back, trying to short into here um, on a bounce, but I wasn't really paying attention to the risk to the risk well enough. And after it hit my wrist multiple times, I covered, and it ended up crashing down um, where I wanted it to, and I could have made a large amount. But that's all paper trading. But I wanted to show you this because today I'm looking at it and I can actually day trade with real money now. So I'm watching it and I'm watching it pre-market and I'm like, I want to get in here, but it was 4%. 4%. It was already down 4%, 4 to 5%, and I'm like, it could have a nice flush, but with me just getting over PDT, and I'm only over PDT by like $130. I'm not willing to take the risk. Even if I enter with um, less than 100 shares, that's still not worth it. I want to be comfortable. So I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna sit on my hands and not do it. And it had this massive flush, massive fucking flush. I kind of regretted it a little bit, but it's whatever. It's whatever, bro. Like I need to be disciplined and careful because this shit is crazy. Because on a first um, red day, like Gritani taught in his DVD, you don't want to if it's not near what I realize is if it's not near um, excuse me, if it's not near red to green and it's already down a certain percentage or 5% or lower, you want to give it time to bounce back up. And that will happen within the first 15 to 30 minutes. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, like, yeah, it had this flush, so it really didn't matter. But you see, from the first 15 minutes to this is the first 15 minutes, it had a big bounce. But I was still with a profit, but I didn't know if it was on a flush or not. So it's okay. Um, so after watching it, at this point, I was waiting for it to see if it was going to get near high day. It got to seven. It got to 57 right here. Um, but I was risking off of 57.69 because that was the high day. I wasn't going to really try to risk off of any pre-market stuff. But it didn't get to 57.69. It got to 57. Then I'm like, okay, then I'll use 57. And it crashed and it started consolidating. And I'm like, okay, if it gets to 57 and holds a little bit, it gives me enough time to see if it's going to break any closer. I'll enter. And it had this quick spike, pushed up, and less than like 2 seconds, it came crashing back down. I wouldn't have a short order sitting right here just in case, because if this had pushed up and my order got filled and then it pushed up even higher, it wouldn't give me enough time to exit. I need it to go up, hold a little bit, or give me some time to decide to look at the price action to tell me if it's gonna continue to push higher, and then I'll decide whether or not to enter. I'm not gonna just have an order sitting right here. And then it pulled back, consolidated, and crashed. Right here, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, you should just enter here, but the risk was not worth it to me. It was too high of a risk. I'm really trying to risk off of high day, and then I didn't even get 57, which is not high day, it's lower than high day. And then for me to risk here and risk off of the consolidation resistance, no, I didn't. I just didn't feel comfortable, and it did this big number here, which was it would have worked out for me, but I'm not comfortable. If I'm not comfortable with my risk, I'm not taking the trade, and that's something I've been learning. Um, I've been watching a lot of Gritani videos, conference videos, Huddy videos, and Michael Good DVD, and I'm just learning a lot of shit. And I'm just being more careful, more disciplined. I learned a lot about psychology and risk management, and I need to go back and learn that. But I missed the opportunity. I wasn't watching the bounce. I set an order here to let me know if it goes past 57, so that if it gets near 57.69, I will look to see if there's opportunity. But I ain't paying attention to it as it crashed all here and bounced up to here. I'm not trading this anymore, so I'm just gonna clear my annotations because at this point I don't want to watch it nor trade it. Um, but yeah. So then let me get into now my actual trade. So I'll go in order. This is the first stock that I traded for the day. Um, let's look at the yearly chart first. Damn, I'm so hungry. So with this yearly chart, this stock wasn't extended enough for me to short, but as you can see all through here, it has these it's getting sold into. You see how it spikes, it opens, spikes, comes right back down, closes here. Same thing with all this. Spikes, come back down, closes here. It's getting sold into all throughout here. But you got to remember, just because it gets sold into doesn't mean it can't go up. So when I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, it's been getting sold into today. It might get sold into today as well. At the high day, I'm gonna short. Um, I looked. I'm like, this is not really extended. Yes, it broke out past high day, but it's not extended from high day. It only went up. What the highest point was 444, and it only broke it past fucking 20 cents. So it's not extended at all. But because I knew it was getting sold into, I decided to trade it. So market open, it spiked. High day was somewhere around. I saw it somewhere here. Pre-market high was 640, 465, and then market open. It looked like it wasn't spiking any higher. It looked like it wasn't spiking any higher, so I took a short in, and I was really careful with this short because I was like really emotional. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was really scared. But this next trade I'm gonna talk about, I was super duper emotional. But it spiked or pushed up, pulled back, pushed up again. Barely. I think it barely broke. Let me see. Yeah, it barely broke high day, pulled back, and then it got near high day, and I took in a short for I think um, 300 shares, I guess. I don't know. I went in for about 300 shares. That's what it's telling me. I went in for 300 shares, and my risk was pretty much I put a 5 to 10 cent risk. So I was going to cover. I got in around like I think 37, 36, 437, 436, and my risk. I put in a risk from 41 cents, a stop loss from 41 cents to 45 cents, and then right when I put it in, it started pulling back, crashed. Um, I covered right here immediately because I just wanted to get over the PDT rule and give myself some cushion. And I didn't want to risk too much. And this was just an emotional trade period because I just took quick gains, was emotional about it, wasn't looking at it logically, and I got out. Not only that, this is a first green day. On first green day patterns, you're supposed to you're supposed to take quick gains because it has a quick pullback and then it ends up pushing up and breaking high day, as you can see now. So, excuse me. So, from studying Grattani's DVD, parabolic shorts, first green day shorts, whatever you want to call it, um, you're supposed to take quick gains. You're not looking for home runs because it's not a home run pattern. And I had to learn that the hard way, the really hard way. So, as you can see here now, I took quick gains. It gave me more room. I left some on the table, but I was okay with that. And then it pushed up, pulled back again, and now as you can see, um, it's getting to newer highs, and it's not something I want to trade anymore. I took my quick gains. Maybe later in the day, um, it might break past these highs and come crashing afternoon or late day. but I'm not gonna watch it. I want to be humble. I don't want to look to just keep trying to make money. I want to look for my exact strategies and trade it. This wasn't my strategy. What it kind of was, I was mainly looking for the first red day, and that's why I went on to um, ticker symbol VIR, because this was the strategy I really like to trade. But I missed it, and then I was just looking for other stocks, and I saw Seal, and Seal wasn't my strategy, but I knew it was being sold into. I didn't even need to look at the offering or the float because I can tell it was barely moving, barely pushing up, and it was getting sold into. So I knew the float was probably a bit low, but it was good enough for me to short or trade. Period. And then it also was getting sold to, so I was like, okay, I'm shorting it, um, and that's it. But I lost my train of thought. Just know it was a good opportunity, but I didn't want to keep shorting it or keep trading it because um, it's not really my strategy. It's not a strategy that I like to play the most, um, especially after what I've been learning. I don't want to trade these kind of first green days. Um, Especially you don't want to short the first green day. You want to short the third or the fourth green day after it's been continually spiking and it's fully overextended. So yeah, that's why I decided not to get into it. It was just a quick scalp trade to me, really. Um, and I made what I sold here at um, 412, 411, and I was in at 439. So that's a quick 30 cents gain. Um, Quick 30 cents gain. So it is what it is. Now onto this other stock, KOSS. When and let me go back to the 6 months chart. When it had this big run up, um, I traded it. If you on what day? I could find it here too. I made like $1,300 on this shit. um, so on the 26th of January, I made $1,239. On the 26th, yeah. So this stock was going up with GameStop, and that day GameStop went up a lot. KOSS went up. Um, KOSS went up a lot as well, but on the 26th, pre-market, it was consolidating, and it was just straight consolidating. And I'm like, this stock can only go up from here. Not something I would normally trade, but I saw the pattern, and my risk was like $30 or something. It was really low, and I was wishing like 30 to $100, and it was really low. And I'm like, this can only go up from here. It can clearly only go up from here because it's straight consolidating, and if it fails, I have my cover order here, so I know I'm gonna get filled because I think it was liquid at the time, and pre-market it just skyrocketed. It just pushed up like a couple of dollars or some shit, and it pushed up to like I don't know how much, but I waited till market open. It pushed up some more, and I sold for the 13 for 12.39. So going into today, well, the next few days it just pushed up way beyond what I expected. And then when GameStop did its bounce, it had its bounce recently. But today I saw that it was on my scanner, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, okay, um, the stocks looks a little. The stock clearly looks sold into. As you can see in the yearly chart I just showed you here, um, you can clearly see that it got sold into. Like this shit spiked so much, got squeezed, then got hammered down back to its lows, lost over 90%. So as you can see here, it's clearly getting sold into. You see these little candlesticks. I think they're called doji sticks. I can't remember the name of it, but they're clearly getting sold into. And then I shorted right here, and if I can zoom in somehow, it was you can clearly see it was getting sold into. So I think I was risking high a day right here at 32.49, shorted right here for um, I guess 115 shares. I don't know why it says 115. I doubt I did 115, but I shorted right here, and I guess yeah. So I think I did 100 or 115. I did 200. I know for sure I did 200, 2 to 300, and I covered here when it broke my shut the fuck up. I love Homer. I love The Simpsons. I grew up watching that shit. But it broke. It hit my risk, and then it hit it beyond. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe this is gonna pull back and come crashing. And it gave me one chance to get out. It literally gave me one chance to get out, and I got out because I was down $75, and then it gave me a chance to get out. I pulled back, and I covered for a $38 loss. And I was like, yo, I'm done. I don't want to fuck with it. Then it kept pushing up, crashed, or not crashed, but pulled back. Then it pushed up again. And then this is where I decided to start shorting. So I saw that it was like hesitant to go any higher. It wasn't pushing up any higher. I'm like, let me take a quick short. And I'm like, I'm going to go in small because I'm not comfortable. And I went in small, 200 shares. So, and then it pulled back. And I went in with 200 shares at 386 and covered at 330. I don't know why I keep saying these numbers. 33.86 and covered at 33.6. So I made 80 cents gain right here. Um, that was and let's do the math on it. So 0.80 times 200. I'm talking a lot right now. I hate when I do this shit. So I made about 160 on this trade minus commissions and whatever. Um, then I saw that it was consolidating, going sideways, doing like a flagpole pattern right here. And I'm like, you know what? It looks like it's going to fall some more. So let me short right here. And I went in, I shorted, and I got in at 33.31 with 200 shares again. And my risk was, I think it was really like right here, 33.79. But I didn't like that. That's a 40-cent risk. So I had to really look at it and make an educated assumption. So I'm like, you know what? Let me not risk from 79 because this could push up again and just keep going higher. So I'm like, let me risk from 33.60, which is the highest point of this candlestick. Um, and I entered a stop loss order. I think I did it here and here. And I put it at 33.60 to 33.70. and that would have been a $20 loss, and it pulled back, and I covered, and I wanted to keep holding, but I'm like, I'm just really not comfortable. I just want to take these gains and get out. I was really emotional. I was first of all, I was on the phone, which I shouldn't have been on the phone, talking to a friend about stocks. Then while I was on the phone, I couldn't focus because I'm trying to listen to him and trade at the same time. I couldn't. So he said he'll call me back. I couldn't listen to him, and I'm like, I'm trading right now. He said he'll call me back. I should have told him, hey, I'll call you back instead of waiting for him to hang up. But my heart was just racing. I can feel my heart beeping from out of my chest. I can feel it. My hands were shaking. My body was shaking. I was just extremely emotional and uncomfortable. But I knew I had to separate my emotions from my my mental and understand the difference. Um, so I separated the two, and I'm like, okay, it's down. I'm up about $200 for the day, $300 or whatever. I am out. So I covered from 33.31 to 32.67. So that's about a, I don't even know. I can't even do the math right now. My mind is just not there. That's 70s, 33, and then that's 64 cents. So 64 times 200 shares. So I made an extra 128 right here. But the whole time I'm just in the wrong mindset. Well, emotionally I'm going crazy. I'm just emotionally not there. And then mentally I'm battling my emotions, trying to push my emotions aside and trade logically. It's the battle between my emotions and it's a battle between myself mentally and emotionally, and I'm trying to separate the two. And the whole time I'm doing that, and that's why you see me covering quickly because my emotions are influencing my trades. But not only that, I'm thinking logically like, yo, you need to get over the PDT rule and stop going for home runs. Just make the quick gains and call it a day. Tomorrow's another day, or Monday's another day because it's Friday. But I covered, got out. Then I saw that it was doing this flagpole pattern again, consolidating. So I really wanted to get in here, but I was still hesitant. And I shorted right here when I saw that, okay, hey, this is going to fall. And I shorted here and I was risking, I didn't even enter a, uh, uh, a stop loss order because I was already really like um, out. I won't say out, but my risk was way too high. From like, I got in at what? 32.58 and 32.53. I accidentally hit 100 shares when I was trying to hit 200 shares, and I was already a bad entry, and then I'm past my risk because my risk would be right here, 33.18, and not in the 50s. 32.50. I got in at 32.50, and my risk was 33.18. That was way beyond what I wanted. So I'm like, you know what? If it pushes beyond me, I'm just getting out. If it pushes beyond me by like 10, 20 cents, I'm out. But I knew it was gonna come pulling back, so I shorted, and then it started pulling back more, and it kind of like bounced up a little bit and was holding here, and I was like, I'm gonna get out because I'm already got a bad entry and I'm not comfortable. So I covered. Um, I don't know why it says 20. That's so stupid. But I covered here at 32.14. Um, I held a little bit longer here because I'm like, this is gonna fall more, and I'm like, nah, fuck it, I'm out, and it did. And then I was just like, hey, fuck it, I missed it. Then I'm like looking for other opportunities, trying to see what it was gonna give me, and I saw the flagpole pattern here again, shorted my risk. I got in at 31.91. My risk was um, can't remember what my risk was, but I don't know what I was risking, and it pulled back, came down, covered here. Oh yeah, now I remember. Um, Let me go back to the 1 minute chart. So it went to 31, bounced because 31 was holding up real well. It bounced, pulled back, and I shorted from the flagpole pattern. Then it hit 31 again, and I was challenging it. I'm like, are you gonna fucking break past 31? And I'm holding through this whole time because I'm like, I'm gonna challenge you to see if you're gonna hit past 31. And if you don't, I'm gonna cover. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm okay, I'm already up 50 cents per share or something like that. I was in at 31 91, and then it I was trying to challenge to see if it would break this point right here, which is 31.54, which it did. And I'm like, okay, you're up 40 cents to 50 cents. Um, you need to get out if it hits, you know, past 51 or 50, because I just wanted a 40 to 50 cent gain, and I took it, and I wanted to take it, but it looked like it was going down some more, so I challenged this stock, and I had my cover order at like I think uh 32.30, which was way more than what I wanted to risk. 40 cents per share. It sounds like it's not a lot, but with my account size, I didn't want to risk that much. But I'm like, okay, I'm already up on the game. I, I'll give up $80 if I have to, but and I because I got a bad entry again. I chased the stock, got a bad entry, and it was like, all right, I fucked up. Let me not try to make this worse. So I'm like, I'm just gonna exit on my risk. So after it broke this level right here, I was challenging to see if it was gonna break this level of 31. And I sat there and I challenged it, and for a few minutes it wasn't breaking. And I'm like, I was watching the level twos, and a lot of people were buying. You can see the level twos just stacking up. Somebody's hiding size, and there's just buying. Excuse me. And I'm just watching, and I'm just like, okay, it seems like it's not going to break 31. So I changed my cover order from 33 or 32.30 to 31. I think it was 31.50 or 31.40 to 50. And I'm like, okay, if it breaks this area, at least I made about 40 to 50 cents. And it didn't break the 31, and it pushed up, and it went back up to a high of $38.08. A little bit of my above my entry, but not my original risk. And I got covered right here. I got covered, and it kept pushing up a little bit past my entry, but not past my risk, my original risk. And then that's when it eventually started breaking past 31, and I was just like, "Fuck." I'm in at 31.90, and it went down to a low of 29.37. So that was a big difference. 31.91 minus 29 point, I think 37. So that's a $2.50 difference I could have made. And it's okay because I don't care if I left money on the table. I don't care if I missed much opportunities. I'm glad that I'm profited, and I'm out with $400. And I knew it was gonna bounce and fade some more, but I was like, nah, I don't want to hold. I don't want to trade this no more. I'm glad that I made $479 for the day on both stocks. Although me taking my gains and moving on isn't the complete right mindset. I'm just glad that I was able to put my account $400 over the PDT rule, PDT, so that it gives me a chance tomorrow. So on Monday actually, but um, I just really want to be, um, I really want to be disciplined right now and not fuck this up. Um, Honestly, I went through a lot of pain. Uh, I went through a lot of pain um, this past month because I haven't really traded live and and pretty much over a month. I had 3 days of live trading, and then the rest of that was of of um of not trading and 2 weeks of paper trading when I finally summed up the strength to try again. Um, Emotionally, I was torn this whole month because I took such a big loss. But it's not over. I still need to study. I still need to work on my psychology, and I still need to watch out for stupid mistakes. I really need to be disciplined because yes, I'm over, but it's not. I'm not out. I can still go back under, and I still can fuck up. Um, Shorting this stock was great, but I need to work on psychology a lot, way more than I thought I needed to. Um, but there's a lot I need to improve on. I'm gonna go take a quick break, grab something to eat, maybe just clear my mind for a little bit. But I'm gonna go back to studying. I'm gonna go and study the conference um, and goods DVD. I need to study Grachani's and Huddy's webinars, and then I need to study psychology. But yeah, that's it for the trade. I know I spoke a lot, talked a lot. There was a lot to cover. Um, I go a little bit too in detail with my trades, um, but I do it to remind myself of the mindset that I had um, while I was trading. Um, but yeah.